next speaker is Carol Harvey, who's been a tireless investigator for reporter, writing for years about this, and we're glad that due to her work and others, this problem is finally getting some attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Andre and Felita, our first Treasure Island whistleblowers who lived here, and they are awesome. Yeah. When I came out to Treasure Island in 2014 for the first time, invited out here by a resident who knew I was a reporter and knew that I have 25 years of experience as an investigative reporter, most of the time in San Francisco. By the way, I'm a proud reporter for the last 15 years for the San Francisco Bayview newspaper. It is a newspaper that is a black newspaper.
Yes.
I write for them because what you see in front of you is environmental racism and classism at its finest.
Yeah, I agree.
And thank you. I'm glad people see that. When I came out here invited by this resident, she immediately took me on toxic tours all over this island, and I thought, this is incredible. I have to report on this. The mainstream media showed up because a marvelous reporter by the name of Matt Smith and another by the name of Catherine Muskowski came out here, wrote for the Center for Investigative Reporting, and they went and found a radioactive object in the soil on Treasure Island, and that made liars out of the Navy who said it was safe to live here. People started living on Treasure Island in the year 2000. Tetra Tech started working here officially in 2006. It was the umbrella contractor for all these other subcontractors from 2006 to 2016, and then it kind of disappeared, but I got a feeling they're around here someplace. They were running the Restoration Advisory Board meetings in this building. By the way, the next RAB meeting, Restoration Advisory Board meeting, will be on March 26th. If you want to see the Sideways Shuffle, come to that meeting. The Navy, when the Yerba Buena people got kicked off of Yerba Buena Island, they had these great apartments up there, and TIDA, who is very responsible for what's going on, besides the Navy, the Treasure Island redevelopment, notice, redevelopment authority, they're all about redeveloping this place. They lied to the people up on Yerba Buena Island, evicted them, and put them down on Treasure Island in some pretty preferred housing, but it's toxic too.
Yes.
So the reason I mention that is because the Navy, when Yerba Buena Island people who were very strong came down and complained about this at the RAB meeting, the Navy shortened the time that the public could speak to 3 minutes.
Like always.
That stopped everybody from coming here.
Yeah.
On top of the evictions that took place. But when I first came to the island, I met people immediately. This was after the mainstream media had pretty much gone on to other assignments in 2014. And I said to myself, this place needs coverage. So I'm going to cover it. And for the last 5 years, I have walked every street. I have videoed every street. I've videoed every house, every building, every stone in this place. I have multiple videos of all the cleanup zones.
That's right.
I know where everything is buried. I have written 60 to 70 articles, I've lost count, for the San Francisco Bayview newspaper about Treasure Island. And if you want to find out about anything about Treasure Island, read my articles, call me. I will be glad to share what I know. And I know a lot, along with a handful of other people who have really taken the time to research this place and read all the Navy documents. I've read them all, and there's stacks and stacks of them. So, I just want to say, this place is trapping people here who have no place else to live because the rents are so high.
Yes.
And I have personally witnessed two people who were major whistleblowers. I went to their eviction trials, and they were harassed, they were abused, and then they were evicted because they spoke out. One, her name is Smadar Levy. She was a professor at Berkeley. She knows all about ethnicity and racism, and she started speaking out on Nextdoor, the island newspaper. And lo and behold, within 6 months she was evicted. And I was at the eviction trial of another person you might know by the name of Damien Ochoa, who complained about termites eating wood in his apartment. And he was evicted. And there are a number of other people I've written about, whistleblowers who were evicted. So I want to bring special attention to my newspaper that has courageously written about this atrocity out here for 5 years. I come from an era, I'm a little older than you guys are, where there was a good attempt at giving people the right to live like the Constitution says we should live, with equal rights for everyone, no matter how much money they make, no matter the color of their skin, no matter their sexual orientation. We are guaranteed equal rights under the Constitution, and on Treasure Island, people's human rights are being massively violated.
Yes, they
and
are.
I'm so glad to see you here today because you're participating in fixing the situation,
Yeah.
bringing light to it.
Yes, thank you
very
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.